a previous example using the OPC data logger, we discussed how to use the pattern search capability of the data logger to find definitions for PID loops or for other devices that are represented by OPC branches that contain the same set of tags. In this particular case, we're going to show how to collect values from a set of tags that we've searched for using the search definition. It will be trying to get some tuning parameters for the PID loops that we collected in the previous example. So, to begin, let's go by defining what we're searching for. We'll do that in the pattern definition. It's loading the existing one. We'll add a new one here and call this one PID loop parameters. As an example, we'll use the same thing for the definition. And we'll search for what we want to collect. In this case, go back to the same place we found the tags in our previous video, which is that simulated PID application. And we'll just scroll down to the actual tags, and we'll pick, let's just assume that this is the proportional gain. Obviously, the tags for your loops may be completely different depending on the vendor, the libraries used, etc. But we'll just make believe that that is the proportional gain here, derivative gain, integral gain. And let's suppose we want the output high and low or output min and max. Get those. And maybe we've got a process value, a min and max. So that's enough to illustrate the technique. Again, we'll specify enough to give it a relatively unique name. That should do it so that the descriptions make sense when we see them in the file. Again, we go to the pattern search, having to find the definition of what we're searching for. We'll add a new pattern search, and we'll call this PID loop parameters. We'll select the definition we just created. We'll start close as possible to where the branches are actually located in the OPC structure. And this is close enough. Again, we're not going to limit the depth or the number of results here, although we could. And so we'll just start searching from that branch that we've selected. Found 9 results, which we would have expected. In this case, rather than creating a tag list, which we're not really interested in logging these values, although you could, we're interested in saving the actual values, a snapshot of the actual values. So we'll go to this third button on the right and save the current tag values to a file. We select the search that we just created, OK, and we'll call these PID loop values. And it's going to save as a PEX file, and it's going to go to the desktop, save, OK, and it's now actually updating the values with the current values from the OPC server. That takes a little bit of time, and when it's finished, we can go to the desktop and actually look at that file in an editor. For this type of file, you would typically import that into, from the case of loop, into the loop analyzer. You could use it to analyze the loop data that you've collected with the data logger, or to create the configuration file for the loop service port channel. So, it's taking a little longer than I expected, but there's quite a few tags that it has to collect the values for, so we'll give it a little bit of time here. And it's done. So we can go to the desktop, look for that PEX file. The one we just created, we'll open that in Notepad. This is simply the file, but you can see that it does have values for the min and max, etc., the gains for those simulated loops. When we would import this into the loop analyzer, we would be asked to map these tags to specific things such as proportional gain, integral gain, output max, output min, etc., and then those would become part of the definitions of those loops in the analyzer. I hope this helps. Thank you for viewing, and good luck.